What's up everybody, it's Eli here from TreeFall Studios, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new version of the Gem Collector for PS4. We're going to be going over a ton of changes in the game, so we're going to do it all in one massive devlog. But first, if you're new to the channel and you are a beginner at game development and want to learn how to get started in game development, or you want to follow me along on my game development journey, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to drop a like on this video. It helps YouTube push out our video to more people and get everyone else to join in on the TreeFall tribe. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright everybody, so let's get started. There are so many changes, it's unbelievable. I'm actually just going to go ahead and show you the title screen and then back into the title screen to show you. So number one is the title screen. It's been completely redone. Now you can see there is a animation. It shows most of the level and it just rotates back and forth and shows a version of level 1, and the gems animate and the dust is in the background and all the other enemies animate. And now there's new buttons, and you can see they have new animations, new game, low game, and bonus, which is also new. That's going to be shown off later. So change number one is the title screen. Let me go ahead and load game and then back out to the title screen to show you the intro. So the logo grows. You have the little pixelated X button, which is new for this game, and then you press it and then you get an intro animation for the buttons themselves. So that is change number 1, 2, and 3. Alright, you just noticed change number 4 is the loading screen. Brand new loading screen with much more simple effects. It looks so much better. Jasper is floating and flying, animating in the corner as you start the level, and that looks so much better than it does than the old one on the Wii U did with the now loading text. Okay, so the next major change you also just saw is the pause screen. Brand new pause screen, very similar to some of the other games that I've recently done, like the Perplexing Orb 2. You can change your music volume, change your sound effects volume, and you can exit the level. They all have little animations. The actual background of the pause screen flies out, the pause loops up when you start it, and it flies off when you're done pausing. The buttons themselves spin in and then they shrink out on the way out, so a bunch of different animations there, and you know, they all work from all the levels. So that is the next major change. The pause screen in the original Wii U version was just a press L and R button to quit. So on this level I'm going to demonstrate quite a few changes to the physics system that I did to the character controller, as well as some of the changes in sound effects and jumps. So you can see now that as you press the button, you have a short hop, and you can hold the button to get a long hop. In the original Wii U version, if you press the button once, he would jump all the way up, and you had to hold a button and press jump again to do a short hop. Now it responds to your button press and how long you hold the button, so you can vary your jump heights. This allows you to jump into these small short hop sections from the original game much more easy. So as you can see here, all you gotta do is short hop in. I kind of messed that one up, but still landed the jump, because the new physics system, you can kind of bounce over the edges, and that's the next big change. In the Wii U version of the game, if you stood against a wall and you pressed the jump button, you would stick to the wall and you would hang in the air and you couldn't go anywhere. So if you tried to hug a wall like this and then jump over it like that, you would literally get stuck and then be just pressing the jump button and not go anywhere. But in this version, you can bounce against the walls and slide up them. As you can see, you had enough force to hit that and kind of hop over the ledge because you were going to make that jump. So now the game is just so much tighter. It feels so much better to control and to platform because it responds to your actual jump height, and you don't get stuck on platforms anymore. So those two major changes alone have changed this entire game and how the game feels. You can also notice there's a dust trail as you jump, so you can see where you place the jumps. A nice little visual touch as well. And you can also hear that there is a jump sound effect. Another sound effect that's been changed is the beam shoot sound effect. That did not exist in the original game, and there's a new sound effect for when you're changing beam ammo. So that's a few of the different sound effects that have been added. There's quite a few more that we'll touch on in just a little bit. So there have also been quite a number of random art changes. I'll show a few of those. I changed the background back to the solid darkness behind these gears. That was not how it was in the original Wii U version. But the reason we're on this level is to take a look at some of the balance changes that I was mentioning earlier. Even though I changed the balance of this game to control a whole lot better, the sensitivity is turned down so he doesn't launch off as fast, so you don't fall off of platforms as quickly as you used to. You have better control over him horizontally now, but you also have control over him vertically with better jumps. Even with all that being said, the game still felt a little bit out of balance and a little bit too difficult because you had quite a few jumps. If you look over here, these are perfect examples. Each one of those was a tiny 1 pixel block that you had to basically land on perfectly, and so were these. This was just a single one here. This, I think, had 1 here, maybe 2, and this only had like 1 to jump up and get that. So just unbelievably difficult for regular levels throughout the game. So I've kind of rebalanced them, still have the exact same level designs, still have the same layouts, but on occasion, like here for instance, I just extended those platforms so the jumps are a bit more doable, considering this is the first level in World 2. You know, it's not the most difficult level. It's much more difficult than the very first one, but still, it doesn't need to grow that high in difficulty. So there's a bunch of different things that got balance changes like that to make the game more doable, more enjoyable, and not have massive difficulty spikes come out of nowhere. Speaking of massive difficulty spikes, now the new bonus mode here is a brand new hub, and as you can see, it contains new levels. None of this existed in the Wii U version. There are now all brand new challenge levels with new content. So you can see I can jump in here, and I showed a little bit off of this on Twitter, and it is just absolutely ridiculous. There are just spikes, saws, tiny pixel perfect jumps, all sorts of things like that for the actual people who are very excited about taking the time to brutalize themselves and see if they can make it through this gauntlet. This gives the best of both worlds. So the huge difficulty of the original game is still here for veterans of the game, but these levels are not tied to the actual story. They're not tied to completion, so you can play them on your own. You can check out and share screenshots of you 100%ing these levels, so you can show them off, but you don't actually have to beat them to beat the game because they are absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so that challenge level showed off a good example, but we're gonna look at it in a different level so it's easier to talk about without dying. In the old version on the Wii U, if you tried to run across that single size gap, you would just fall right off to your death. But now, as you can see, with the new way that the character controls, if you're running, you can run across little gaps like that, and then you can even continue to run and then jump off of them. If you slow down or you hit them too quick in the wrong way, you will get stuck and then fall down between them. But with the wall sticking being fixed, even if you're stuck in a little gap like this, you can just launch right on out, no problem whatsoever. So that is another major change that makes so many of these little level designs that I tried to implement in the first game that were kind of annoying, it makes them so much easier to do. Another thing, when you were just running, this game, he was so sensitive in the beginning, and like I already mentioned, I turned him down, but if you were running, which I'm going to do, I'm going to hold the stick to the right, and you fell off accidentally, you get an invincibility frame, and you would warp right back to your checkpoint or right back to the start. But sometimes you would die so quickly and you wouldn't even realize it, and you would still be holding the stick to the right, and you would fall off again if the checkpoint was right beside a cliff, for instance. So I instituted instability frames, so if you did that in the original game, you would only lose a single heart. But falling off a couple times in a row and the camera warping back over and over and over is kind of jarring. And this entire time that I've been talking, I never let go of the stick. I was still holding it to the right. So you can see a quality of life change happened to where if you run off an edge, you will not start walking again until you let go of the stick and then press it in again. So a little change like that It's going to help new players and people who are running quickly, because your gravity is still kind of fast in this game and you can fall off very quickly, and you would run right off again and just keep warping back to the camera and be like, whoa, what is happening? You know, now that is all fixed and that is gone. All you have to do is just let go of the stick and then instantly press it in again. So if you're trying to speed run and you fell off, well, you made a mistake anyways by falling off, but you can still let go of it and press it again, like basically by the time you've already warped back to the checkpoint. So, you know, it just takes a split second to do, but for people who aren't thinking about it and who are just running through the level, that's going to save them from so many accidental deaths and motion sickness from the camera warping back and forth over and over and over again. Alright, there's quite a few changes here that we're going to talk about. So these scrolling levels used to be unbelievably hard, because if you get off the screen, you have an insta-death. And in the old version, once your foot, the pixel of your foot touched that screen right there, you would be instantly killed. And now you have all the way till it engulfs your head. So if you're running slow, you have enough time, or if you accidentally fall down and you land on a ledge and you have half your body showing, you can jump right on out and go ahead and save yourself. So that is a huge quality of life change that makes it so much easier to play those levels. And as you can see, we are now on the new game over screen. It used to be pretty ugly and just had a still image and said continue and quit. And now it still says game over, continue and quit, but I have a ton of physics gems actually, and they fall down and animate and smash into each other, and it's just so much more satisfying than it used to be. Very simple and minimalist loading screen, game over screen, excuse me. So we'll jump back in here and talk about a few of these things. So the scrolling levels have gotten so much easier because you can like literally go down here and be like, whoops, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And the camera speed has been tested over and over and over. So it's about the perfect speed of, it's slow enough to where you can outrun it and catch back up if you were having trouble getting all these gems, but also not so droning slow that the level is absolutely miserable. Also, as you can see, the background art on this level has changed as well. It is so much better than it used to be. It's just much more simple and looks a little bit more realistic now, with the sky gradient changing colors as you go from the ground all the way up into the sky. It's using the exact same color scheme as the first two levels, which it didn't in the first game. I don't know why. So that's been fixed and is a lot better. And as you can see, there are now clouds on this level and dust, which did not exist before. So it looks so much better than it used to. Alright, so that wraps it about up. I have a couple quick changes to show you in this level, just some silly little things. The pumpkin sound, I edited it to make it much better than it used to be. It used to have a bunch of weird issues. And then if you play the original game and you remember these, you can shoot these logs and kill them. There was a tower here, but I decided just for fun, only in this one spot, to make them physics items so that you can actually jump around and knock them around. And if you shoot them, they still break, exact same thing. But you can actually twist them around and kind of get into weird situations with them and, you know, just have fun. So different stuff like that. It doesn't even really matter that it's there, but I took the time to edit a few things like that and go ahead and stick it in there anyways. But that about wraps it up for today's video. That is not all of the changes that have come to the Gem Collector. There were a few different sound effects that I didn't show off. There's a ton of other levels that got balance changes that I didn't show off. A few other levels that have art that was changed that I didn't show off. But most of the major changes, you know, like the character controller changes, big sound effect changes, physics changes, all that kind of stuff has been shown in this devlog. So I hope you guys are looking forward to playing the Gem Collector on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's been an experience recreating this game, porting it over from the original Wii U version. It was so old. I really like some of my ideas in this game, but at the time my limitations really held me back from making a really good 2D platformer, and some things that I would love to do and making a new 2D platformer that I can do now still are not in this game. I fixed a lot of the broken things that really made this game frustrating, and all of the original good ideas are still there, but a few of the things like parallaxing backgrounds and, you know, moving platforms, a couple other things like that, multiple rooms going through doors, kind of like Mario and Kirby in a single level. I can do all of that stuff now, and it did not exist in my knowledge. I did not know how to do that when this game originally came out. Another thing is like just having one checkpoint and starting back over at the beginning with dying is a little annoying. Falling off of a platform like this and being able to be put back on the platform that you just fell off of, I did not know how to do that. That's why I created the checkpoints. But if I make a new 2D platformer, which I am flirting with that idea, I would be able to make it a whole lot better than this one. But with that being said, this game is still really solid. It's so much better than it used to be, and it definitely has some unique ideas waiting for new players to test it out. It's going to be available on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 really soon at the low price of $2.99, so I'm keeping it the same price as the Wii U version, even though this game has all sorts of upgrades and features. So let me know what you think about that. If you guys are excited to check it out, excited to play the game, let me know what your favorite change and major change is in the comment below. And without further ado, we got to thank our patrons for supporting TreeFall Studios. Currently, we got to give a shout out to Carmen Red, LV, and Overhyped Gamer. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on Patreon.com. We can't do what we do without you. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Patreon page, the links will be in the description below. And if you guys are interested in grabbing yourself a Pitter Pot shirt like I was wearing in the intro of this video, we also have the links to our merch below as well. So without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video. It should be a brand new devlog for the next game that we're going to be starting from scratch, coming up real soon. But in the meantime, I hope you guys are excited for the Gem Collector, and I'll catch you in the next video.